Hello children, this is Grandma's Angels coming to you again with another new message. And as you can see behind me, today I'm going to talk about divorce. And the first thing and the last thing I'm going to say in this program is it is not your fault, okay? Children, never blame yourself for what the adults do, okay? That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to touch on some things that I think you children are going through when your parents argue and fight and they're going through a divorce and the family's going to split up. Okay, so I know that you have fears and things, but I made some key things that I want to say to you today. So we'll start with what hurts you the most. And children, for you, I think when both parents are arguing, that hurts you. You don't want to hear the loud screaming and the anger and the slamming doors and the threats and whatever else you are hearing. You don't want to hear that. You're innocent, you're young, even teenagers, you're innocent and young too. You don't want to see your parents split up. Most children don't. And parents blaming each other. Like this picture right here shows they're each pointing their finger at each other. And where is the child? Right smack dab in the middle. So even if he's not in the room, he's in the middle because he loves both parents. She loves both parents. And you children don't want to see these things happen. You want both a mother and a father. And that's normal, okay? Making the child choose. It's wrong for adults to do this. They should never make you choose which parent. You loved both of them at birth. You'll love them throughout your lifetime. Even if one does something more wrong than the other, it's still a part of you. So you will have love for that parent. Now, and I do know there are some occasions where a divorce is needed. If the man is abusing the wife or the children, yes, absolutely, he needs to get out of the house. But I'm talking about the standard divorce when you children are caught in the middle of it and you're feeling so much pain, you feel worthless because you don't have a voice, you feel unattended to, that you're not important, and if you do try to say something, generally the adults don't listen because they're in their own pain. Now you children cannot understand what adults go through, okay? Even if you try, you can't. You're not an adult. You haven't lived long enough to know the experiences of this life. And I'm not saying the yelling and the screaming and the blaming and the arguing and the slamming doors is right. It's absolutely not right. But your parents are in their own set of pain. And unfortunately, it's what you've been born into. So I want to tell you some things and how to help you cope with a situation like this. You can see the children here, how unhappy they are, and this little girl and that little girl. And it's sad all the way around. For every member of the family, it's very sad. But I know you children like to try to fix things with your parents because you don't want to see this going on, and that's normal. I want you to know that's a normal reaction for a child to have. And then on this side, it says, what are your fears? As a child, what are your fears? These are some of the things that I think you're fearing. Feeling lost because now you don't feel like you have guidance because the parents are all embroiled and caught up in their own pain, their own suffering, their own anger, everything. The parents are caught up in that, so the child kind of gets forgotten. And you feel lost when that happens. And I know you children tend to blame yourself. You think, well, maybe it's because my sister and brother and I were fighting and they're getting a divorce over that. No, they are not getting a divorce over that. Maybe it's because I got sick for a while and I had to go to the hospital. No, they're not getting a divorce for that. Okay, anything that you children do, you're not the reason for the divorce. Okay, the adults have been doing things on a daily basis that has caused them unhappiness. It is the two adults that are having the problem, not you children. You're just caught in the middle of it, and it's very unfortunate. And there's so many divorces I want each and every one of you to know you're not the only one going through this. There are many families that are dividing these days, that are getting divorces, and for one reason or another. But it's an adult reason, has nothing to do with you children, and that's the point I want to make today. Whatever you think is going on and you're blaming yourself, don't blame yourself. You have nothing to do with this. You're just caught in the middle of it, okay? And you have fear of doubt and abandonment. And that also is normal for you to feel that way. Because if one parent leaves the house, you feel abandoned. Where is that other parent? What is he doing or she doing? Why aren't they here with me? Those are very normal thoughts. I want to read a story, tell you a story about this young 12-year-old boy. He tried talking to his parents, but they weren't listening because they were screaming too loud. They were yelling too loud. They were caught up in their own embroil of anger, okay? And because they're caught up in their own emotions, they couldn't hear what their little boy was saying. So he thought he'd write it down and give them each a letter. He made 2 copies, gave one to the mother and one to the father. And this is the letter he wrote. And I think that this can be in your thoughts too. I think if you were to write a letter to your parents and put your true feelings on paper, it might make a difference. It's worth a try, okay? But here's what this little boy wrote. Dear Mom and Dad, I know that you are hurting. I am hurting too. I feel and feed off your tension, fear, and shock. Although I am young and cannot express verbally what is happening in our lives, I'm still feeling the impact of it. My heart is broken every time I have to give up a parent. My sense of security is lost. Please don't assume that I am resilient. Please don't assume that my life will be exactly as it once was, and that I will continue to feel the same love from both of you. I am a human being just like you. My needs are just like yours. I need love, attention, nurturing, stability, consistency, affection, understanding, patience, and mostly to feel wanted. When you fight over me or put me in the middle of your argument, you are sending me the message that winning with each other is more important than my life. I am learning from you that it is better to be right than to be loved. You are teaching me that I came from a person who is unlovable and wrong, and that I am somehow wrong too when you blame each other. When you confide your hurt in my heart, you are storing up adult pain and robbing me of my childhood. You are taking away my belief that love is unconditional and replacing it with a message that tells me to become hard and not to love because I will get hurt and not be able to recover. You may not understand this today, and I am so small that you are not thinking about my future, but you are putting me in a greater risk of getting a divorce myself one day. At times you are risking my safety to fill a void in your heart. My safety is your job. Without you and your protection, I am unshielded from the world. This will manifest in irrational fears for me, because I will stay in a state of fight or flight for most of my life. Someday this initial shock will wear off, but how you choose to parent me through the crisis will never wear off. I will either feel your sense of selflessness, support, and protection, or I will have a scar in my heart with a message that reads, "Good things happen to good people." I must be bad. Signed, thoughtfully, the child of a divorce. So children, all I can tell you today is two things. When your parents are going through these really critical, argumentative, emotionally up and down roller coaster ride, when they're going through all of this, it is not your fault. Please remember that. Nothing you have done caused them to be this angry, caused them to want to divide from each other. They are divorcing each other. They're not divorcing you kids, okay? They still love you, and their love might show a little bit differently after the divorce because of the impact of the emotions that it takes you to, takes the adults to. It is not your fault. And the other thing that I hope that you'll get out of this message today is, please write your thoughts down in a book, in a journal, on a piece of paper, anywhere. Write your thoughts down. And if you feel so inclined to give it to your parents, give it to your parents. Let them know how you are feeling. It's very hard, the younger you are, to articulate your words. But as teenagers or preteens, you kids can put your thoughts on paper and deliver it to each parent, just to let them know how you feel. They will sit quietly and read it. That will be more of an impact to them than you trying to verbalize your fears, your anger, your disappointments, your abandonment issues, and the things you're going through. Put it on paper and give each parent a copy. Let them know how this is affecting you, okay? And I really think it'll make a difference. So the topic today is a very painful one, and it was hard preparing this for you kids. But I just want you to know, none of it is your fault. No matter what has happened in your home, parents getting a divorce is not your fault. And if one parent steps up more than the other parent, I'm really sorry for that, but it does happen. Just try to cope as best you can. Write your thoughts down on paper. It helps relieve, get those thoughts out of you, and that you can go forward with your life without fear, without doubt, without sadness. Go forward with your life, but put your thoughts on paper. And like I said, give it to them if you feel so inclined to do so. Keep it to yourself if you feel inclined to do that. The choice is yours, but you do have choices. You are not powerless, okay? No matter what your age is, you're not powerless. Love yourself. Know that you have done nothing wrong. And this is my message today, children. Please know that none of this is your fault. And put your words on paper. And this is it for today. I hope that anything I've said throughout this episode, that it will help someone out there. Okay, divorce is very painful. It's like a death in the family. So, all right, be the best you can be, all right? And remember to be kind to everybody. And please write down your thoughts, all right? I love you so much. And so do your parents. So, okay, I will see you next time. Have a wonderful day and be your best you. Alrighty, bye-bye.